Good morning, everybody. I'm just doing this video to give you a report on what I learned yesterday by attending some sort of online webinar from College Board about the new exam. So here's the important information I gleaned from the meeting. First off, the test dates are going to be May 11th and June 1st. They intend May 11th to be the main date for the test, and that June 1st is the makeup day, and also the day that you could take the test if there was some sort of problem with your testing on May 11th. So we're recommending that you sign up for the May 11th and use the June 1st as a backstop. They came up with these dates by polling all kinds of teachers and students and seeing what they wanted, and they were surprised to find that the students wanted to take the test as early as possible. I guess while the information was still fresh in their minds. And of course, College Board would love to have postponed it because it gives them more time to prepare. But they threw some money at the problem, and uh, they're ready to go on this thing. The test format, as you know, will be some free response questions or question. Sometimes when he talked, he made it sound like there would be one main question and maybe a couple supplementals, but he was also talking about all 31 exams at the same time. For these free response questions, you're going to read a prompt and then you have a certain amount of time, let's say 15 minutes, in order to upload your response. They will put a clock on the corner of the screen, but they said that you will be able to eliminate that clock if it distracts you. Your upload can be either a photograph of your handwritten work, or can be a typed text type response. And you are responsible for uploading it before the end of the deadline. I don't know that there's going to be a lot of flashing lights and bells and whistles and things that say, oh my God, the 15 minutes is almost up. So if you upload it, a fraction of a second late, they may not accept it. Keep in mind that the internet is being taxed right now, given the fact that everyone's working from home and surfing and streaming and doing all kinds of stuff. So I admonish you to watch the clock on those days. Next thing is that you're going to get a credential that will permit you to take the test. It will come to your email address. They have all this information because you registered for the AP Classroom, and you also signed up for the test. So I'll let you know when people start getting those credentials, and if you don't get your credential, you have time to talk to them. I suspect that this credential is going to somehow open a secure portal or a secure browser, which will allow them to have some sort of control over what you can do. They are restructuring the test such that they realize that people could be looking things up on Google, on another computer, or something like that. So they are doing some things to make the questions be more process based. You can't look up the steps on how to solve the problem, but you could look up the definition of momentum. So they're going to ask more questions that have to do with process skills. Um, they say they have some things in place that they cannot talk about to help ensure that there's not somebody else answering questions instead of the person they think, which means there's going to be some pre-test filling out of documentation that you're going to have to do. So if this is a 45-minute test, I suspect you're going to be doing at your testing station, you're going to be there much longer than 45 minutes. Now, this is true for the pencil and paper AP test as well. As you know, you have to bubble in and fill out a lot of stuff, and sometimes there's a signed section. So they're going to get you to go through some of that in the run up to the test. I think that's part of how they're going to make sure that people are actually taking the test. They have to in some way ensure to the colleges that there's been an attempt to make, to ensure the integrity of the exam. Another thing that's very interesting is I'm going to get copies of your responses, and I'm going to get them very quickly after you get done taking the test. They're asking teachers to look at those and see if any student shows some sort of giant shift in the way that they solve problems. Um, if a student, I don't know, suddenly has a different kind of penmanship, I'm supposed to notice that and help them get to the bottom of any kind of misbehavior. Also, they say that if I want to use these tests as part of the grading or feedback, um, I can do that. And we're going to have to talk about this thing here, um, um, but not maybe today. You know that things are changing quite a bit in terms of school, and your worst fears are coming true. Your grade is basically the grade you had on March 13th. But they want us to allow people to make up work and improve that grade, but nothing that you do after then can harm your grade, which is fine. For the AP class, all I'm focusing on is getting you ready for the test anyway. I may be able to use this to find some way to ameliorate or fix final grades for people who weren't doing so well as of March 13th. Okay, also, most important news of all is that there is a College Board sponsored YouTube channel called AP Live, and I imagine it's a set of channels for each of the exams, and they have professional educators that they've gotten that they think are hot stuff, and they're going to present information, continue teaching, answer questions. They're also going to show you what the test looks like. All of that's going to happen through their AP Live. So do go onto YouTube and try to find AP Live classes and try to get yourself either signed up or drop a bookmark or whatever you need to do to participate in that. I myself will be watching from the side. I am less in need of information about physics, but I suspect that what they do here for this testing may bleed over into future years. If this turns out to work well, and if the security issues are okay, this is a much more efficient way to handle AP testing. Okay, they say that there will be all this information that they talked about over the course of the 40-some minutes that I watched yesterday. They said all this information will be up on the website, AP Central, by midday today, and today is the 3rd. Happy birthday, Julian. All right, here are some of my thoughts that I just had to barf down and get into your brains. My thoughts are, yes, do register for the May 11 exam. It is the closest one. Less brain fade. It's plenty of time between now and then to get ready. And I will, again, continue to struggle to find material that I think will be very similar to what you'll be facing. But use the June 1 date as a backup in case there's some sort of technical glitch. There's a lot of links in this chain, from the power at your house to something that might, happen to the internet, or just rampant delays when everybody hits the College Board's servers, and they may not be ready for this. So take it on May 11, backstop on June 1. We rushed through the material. The idea, and it's a professional decision on my part, and we're going to lose on that. In other words, we covered more material than many other AP classes did, and our idea was to go back and hit it again and tease it up into your consciousness right before the exam. So we covered stuff that's not going to be on the exam. They decided to cut things off at Unit 5, which is where they think an average AP class would be in the middle of March, and we had finished Unit 7. So you know more than you need to know. The good thing is that I've always emphasized the process skills. The way the test is going to be run is not just regurgitation of information, but the process skills, the steps in how to solve the problem, what pieces to bring together and to assemble in order to get through a problem. We've always emphasized that in my class, and so I think you are uniquely ready to take this test. You need to practice getting your workspace ready. If you're going to be taking a timed test where you have to generate a response and then you have to upload it, you need to have your formula sheet ready. You need to have whatever you need, calculator, whatever, pencils, paper, everything needs to be assembled and ready before you click go on that test. And you need to practice with your workspace, because time is going to be of the essence. It was always before, but it is more so now. You have more steps you have to do. You don't just write in a booklet and then they collect the booklet. So the extra period of time for uploading and managing stuff is going to come off of your solving time. So get your workspace ready, practice with your workspace. If you want to make your own formula sheet, they cannot be upset with that. Okay. This is my big thing: is you will do well. This is no doubt. There's a lot of people around the country that are going to have the mental attitude of just giving up, and that will soak into the back of their mind, and that gets mixed in with their feeling that they really don't know how to do physics. You guys will do well on this. If they offer any kind of practice tests, I think you should practice uploading responses. If they do not, you should still practice. I suspect that many people will be solving these problems on a piece of paper, and then they will use their cell phone to take a picture of the paper, and then they will upload from their cell phone to their computer, and then from their computer to the internet. By the way, they said that you have to upload your responses from the device that you are viewing the question. So that's why I think it's going to be a secure browser environment, that the upload will have to happen within that secure browser. So you'll need to find a way to get your picture from whatever camera you have at appropriate resolution so it can be read and get it into your computer to get it to upload. This is something that you should practice ahead of time, and that again, if you do, then somebody else could have a problem with that, and it comes out of their solving time. It won't come out of yours. All right, that's enough for now. There'll be some more information out there about how we're going to handle the rest of the school year, but we have done the free response on Unit 1 and Unit 2 that they left for me. We're going to do the other 3 over the course of the next week or so, and then we're going to regroup and assault the beaches. All right, talk to you later.